The internet just froze. Phones stopped scrolling. Timelines erupted. Because what dropped in the last 24 hours isn't just celebrity drama, it's a nuclear bomb aimed straight at one of hip-hop's most untouchable names. For years, fans believed they knew the truth. The pain. The struggle. The origin story repeated in interviews, lyrics, and documentaries. But now? That entire narrative is cracking in real time. A voice from the shadows just stepped forward. A voice nobody expected to hear. A voice that claims it was erased on purpose. And the receipts? Allegedly stacked. Messages. Dates. Phone records. Stories that directly collide with everything the world thought was fact. Social media is already calling it the biggest family expose hip-hop has seen in decades, and we're only at the beginning. What happens when a global superstar's own blood says, "That's not how it happened"? What happens when the man the public was told didn't exist suddenly speaks and refuses to stay silent? Fans are split. Some are defending. Others are questioning everything. Old clips are resurfacing. Lyrics are being reanalyzed line by line. And a single phrase is trending everywhere: "We were lied to." This isn't just about fame. This is about abandonment, betrayal, and a truth that allegedly stayed buried for over 20 years. And the scariest part? If even half of what's being whispered is real, then this story doesn't just change how you see one artist, it changes the entire legacy. And once you hear what's coming next, there's no unheard of it. The moment the clip hit the internet, everything detonated at once. Not leaked through a label. Not teased by a rollout. Just dropped. Raw. Unfiltered. A man staring straight into the camera, voice steady but eyes burning, saying words nobody thought they'd ever hear attached to this name. He didn't shout. He didn't threaten. That's what made it terrifying. He simply said the story the world knows isn't the story he lived. And within minutes, the algorithm went feral. This wasn't some random clout chaser. This wasn't a disgruntled ex. This was a father. Or at least, a man claiming to be one. And according to what's allegedly being passed around behind the scenes, he didn't come empty-handed. Screenshots started appearing on burner accounts. Blurry at first. Then clearer. Dates lining up with timelines fans thought were locked in stone. Phone logs. Money transfer receipts. Voice notes people swear were recorded years ago, never meant to be heard. The caption under one viral post said it best: "If this is fake, it's the most detailed lie in hip-hop history." Almost immediately, the internet split into factions. One side screaming betrayal. The other screaming setup. Old interviews resurfaced at lightning speed. Clips where the artist spoke about his childhood, his pain, his past, suddenly felt different when replayed under this new light. Fans began freezing frames, slowing audio, zooming in on facial expressions like it was a crime documentary. A lyric from years ago trended out of nowhere, not because it was catchy, but because people now believed it meant something else entirely. Behind the scenes, allegedly, panic was spreading. Industry group chats lighting up. PR teams scrambling. One insider claimed a call was made within an hour, voices raised, lawyers mentioned. Another claimed there was a demand to kill the story before it grew legs. Too late. The story already had wings. What made this explode wasn't just what was being said, it was what directly contradicted the official narrative fans had been fed for years. The claim wasn't just absence. It was erasure. That the public was told one thing while another reality existed off camera. That a living man watched the world mourn him while he was still breathing. And when that accusation hit Twitter, it ignited like gasoline. Then came the first alleged leak. A transcript of a private phone call, unverified but disturbingly specific. In it, a younger voice asks why calls stopped. The older voice responds with confusion, claiming he never stopped trying. The timestamp matched a critical period fans know well. Coincidence? Maybe. But the internet doesn't believe in coincidence when drama smells this potent. As the clip spread, reactions poured in from every corner of the culture. A fellow rapper tweeted a single emoji, then deleted it. A producer liked a post calling the situation heartbreaking, then went private. Even a popular podcaster hinted they'd heard whispers of family issues years ago but were told to stay quiet. That alone sent fans spiraling. If people knew, how long did they know? Meanwhile, fan pages went to war. Comment sections turned vicious. Some accused the father of chasing relevance. Others asked why someone would wait this long unless they were afraid before. A viral TikTok stitched old interviews next to the new claims, the creator whispering, "Watch his eyes." He knew this day would come. The video passed 1 million views in hours. And just when things couldn't get more intense, a second clip surfaced. This one shorter. Darker. Allegedly recorded recently. The same man, same calm fury, saying he doesn't want money, fame, or an apology. He wants one thing. A phone call. That line hit people hard. Because suddenly this wasn't just gossip, it was emotional warfare playing out in public. Sources claiming to be close to the situation whispered that the artist was blindsided and not taking it well. Another claimed there was shouting when the news broke, something smashed in a room, security asked to clear people out. None of it confirmed. All of it spread anyway. That's how fast this was moving. Then fans noticed something chilling. The artist went silent. No tweets. No stories. No cryptic quotes. Just nothing. And in celebrity culture, silence is never neutral. It's either strategy or shock. Speculation exploded. Was a response coming? Was legal action already underway? Or was this too personal, too raw to address publicly? As the night rolled on, one final post sent chills through the timeline. A black screen. White text. Allegedly posted, then deleted, within minutes. I never wanted this public. But the truth doesn't disappear just because you ignore it. Screenshots spread like wildfire. If that post was real, and many swear it was, then this wasn't over. It was just beginning. Because now the question wasn't whether there was a rift. The question was who was telling the truth, and who had been lying to millions the entire time. And according to whispers growing louder by the hour, the next revelation wouldn't come from interviews or tweets, it would come from proof nobody was ready to see. By morning, the silence had become louder than any statement could have been. Blogs refreshed. Timelines refreshed. Fans refreshed their feeds like it was breaking wartime news. And then the whispers turned into something heavier. Something uglier. Allegedly, the phone started ringing behind the scenes, not publicists this time, but family. Extended relatives. People who had never spoken to press, never chased cameras, suddenly being contacted by friends of friends asking the same question, is this real? That's when the second wave hit. Not a video. Not a statement. A leak dump. It appeared on an anonymous account with no profile picture and a bio that simply read, "Truth doesn't need promotion." The first image was a grainy screenshot of what looked like an old bank transfer. Names blurred. Date circled in red. The caption underneath didn't accuse, it implied. Ask why this doesn't fit the story. Within minutes, the post was reposted by drama pages with millions of followers. Some added siren emojis. Others added question marks. None added context. None needed to. Chaos filled in the blanks. Fans started doing what fans do best, investigating. Threads popped up breaking down timelines hour by hour. Someone pulled up an interview from years ago where the artist described a specific age and a specific moment. Another fan matched that to the leak date and claimed it lined up too perfectly to be coincidence. Screenshots stacked on screenshots. Every allegedly got ignored. Speculation turned into belief at terrifying speed. Then came the audio. No one could confirm where it came from. No watermark. No intro. just a shaky recording. A veteran executive liked a tweet that read, "The truth always comes out, even when it's inconvenient." He liked it 5 minutes later. Too late. Screenshots never forget. A popular artist tweeted, "Family business should stay off the internet," then deleted that too. Fans immediately interpreted that as confirmation. Because in this climate, everything means something. Behind closed doors, insiders claimed the situation was spiraling. One source whispered that lawyers were debating whether responding would make things worse. Another claimed there was a heated argument between management and the artist himself, one side pushing for a denial, the other warning that denying could backfire if more leaks surfaced. And according to someone who swore they were in the room, a name was mentioned that hadn't been public before. Someone else who allegedly knew the truth all along. That's when a new narrative emerged. Not abandonment. Control. Accounts began claiming that the story the public knew wasn't just simplified, it was curated. That certain details were emphasized while others were buried. That some people were painted as villains while others were erased entirely. None of this was proven. All of it spread like wildfire. Hashtags formed. One trended worldwide for hours, built entirely on a question, why lie? Fans started revisiting lyrics with a new lens. Lines that once sounded like pain now sounded like deflection. Bars that felt autobiographical now felt selective. A clip from a live performance resurfaced where the artist paused after a line about family, looking away for just a second too long. Comment sections flooded with, "We see it now." Whether they actually did or not didn't matter. The narrative had shifted. Then came the alleged confrontation. According to multiple unverified sources, a call finally happened. Not the emotional reunion some hoped for. Not the healing conversation people romanticized. This one, allegedly, was explosive. Voices raised. Accusations thrown. Old wounds ripped open. One person familiar with the call claimed it ended abruptly, with someone hanging up mid-sentence. Another claimed there was silence afterward that felt final. Hours later, something strange happened. The artist unfollowed several people at once. Family-adjacent accounts. Longtime associates. Fans noticed immediately. Screen recordings spread. TikToks analyzed the unfollow list like it was a crime scene. "This is retaliation," one creator said. "This is emotional fallout," another argued. A third simply whispered, "This is bad." And still, no official statement. That vacuum allowed the story to grow teeth. A respected journalist tweeted that they were looking into the situation and asked for patience. Fans interpreted that as confirmation that something big was coming. A podcast announced an emergency episode titled only with a black square. Drama pages teased something huge dropping tonight. Everyone braced. Then, just before midnight, a final alleged leak appeared. A message. Short. Direct. Supposedly sent recently. "I never wanted to be erased. I wanted to be a father." No names. No proof. Just that sentence. It hit harder than anything before it because it didn't sound strategic. It sounded painful. People who had been laughing stopped. Comment sections shifted tone. Even skeptics paused. Because suddenly this wasn't about right or wrong. It was about damage. About a family fracture so deep it spilled into public view. And if this message was real, if it came from where people believed it came from, then the next move wouldn't be a tweet. It would be a response. And according to whispers spreading faster by the minute, that response wasn't coming from the shadows anymore. It was coming from the one person everyone had been waiting on, whether he was ready or not. The response didn't come as a tweet. It didn't come as a press release. It came as movement. Subtle at first, then impossible to ignore. Fans noticed the private jet log circulating on burner accounts. A sudden location change. A studio session cancelled without explanation. People close to the situation allegedly told friends, who told group chats, who told the internet, that something had finally snapped. Not in anger. In pressure. And then, without warning, the artist went live. No announcement. No countdown. Just a notification that made thousands of phones vibrate at once. The screen opened to a dimly lit room. No jewelry. No entourage. Just a face everyone thought they knew, now tight, controlled, eyes heavy like someone who hadn't slept. He didn't smile. He didn't greet. He stared at the comments flying by like a storm and said one sentence that instantly changed the temperature of the entire internet: "You'll don't know the half." That was it. The live cut. 15 seconds. That's all it took. The clip spread faster than anything before it. Reaction channels raced to upload. Twitter exploded into theories. Was that a warning? A threat? A promise? Fans dissected his tone, his posture, the room behind him. Someone zoomed in on a reflection in the background and swore there was another person there. Another claimed the audio cut because someone off camera told him to stop. Nobody could prove anything. Everybody believed something. Within hours, a statement finally dropped, not from him, but from someone speaking on his behalf. Carefully worded. Cold. It denied nothing directly and confirmed nothing either. It spoke about complex family histories, private pain, and narratives that evolve over time. The internet read between every line. Commenters accused it of being corporate damage control. Supporters praised the maturity. Critics said it avoided the core question entirely. That's when the third wave hit. A name. Someone who had stayed invisible until now allegedly stepped forward, telling a small blogger that they'd been in the middle of this story for years. Not a parent. Not management. A witness. Someone who claimed they'd seen the calls go unanswered. Seen the money sent. Seen the arguments no one was supposed to hear. The blogger didn't publish the full interview, only a quote, saying they were verifying before releasing everything. That alone sent shockwaves. Because if there was a witness, then this wasn't just a he said situation anymore. Fans turned on each other completely. Old supporters accused newer ones of betrayal. Newer fans accused old ones of blind loyalty. Playlists were deleted. Merch burned on live streams. Others doubled down, streaming his music louder than ever out of defiance. The divide was vicious. And right in the middle of it all sat one unresolved truth: someone was hurting, and someone else didn't want to talk about it publicly. Then came the alleged confrontation everyone feared. Multiple sources claimed there was an in-person meeting. No cameras. No phones allowed. Just a room, two people, and decades of silence between them. What was said inside that room hasn't been confirmed. But what happened after speaks volumes. The artist cancelled appearances. Went dark again. The other party, according to whispers, left the meeting emotional, telling someone close, "At least he finally heard me." Whether that meant reconciliation or rejection depended on who you asked. Hours later, a single post appeared on a newly created account. No profile photo. No history. Just text on a white background. I never wanted to take anything from him. I wanted him to know I never stopped loving him. It was up for 6 minutes. Long enough to be screenshot. Long enough to break people. This time, even skeptics went quiet. Because something about the timing felt final. Like a door closing. Or opening. No one could tell which. Late that night, a respected journalist confirmed they were working on a long-form piece. Not gossip. Not rumor. Documentation. Interviews. Context. They said it would complicate the story for everyone. Fans braced. Supporters panicked. Critics sharpened their knives. Because a complicated truth is more dangerous than a simple lie. And just when the internet thought it had reached peak chaos, a final twist emerged. A studio snippet leaked. Unreleased. Raw vocals over a haunting beat. the lyrics weren't and according to the same insiders who have been right so far, this isn't the end of the revelations. There's one more piece. One final detail that hasn't surfaced yet. Something that could either shatter everything, or finally explain it all. And when that drops, the internet won't just react. It will choose sides. If you've made it this far, you already know this isn't just another headline you scroll past and forget. This is one of those moments that people are going to reference years from now and say, I remember when this first broke. And the difference between watching history happen and being part of the conversation is what you do right now. Because the truth is moving fast. Clips are disappearing. Posts are getting deleted. Narratives are shifting in real time. And the people who stay ahead are the ones locked in, not the ones catching up after everything's already been rewritten. Missing the next update doesn't just mean missing drama, it means missing context when everyone else is arguing like they already know the ending. So if this story shook you, confused you, or made you question everything you thought you knew, don't stay silent. Hit like so this doesn't get buried. Drop your thoughts in the comments because this debate is far from over, and your perspective matters more than you think. And most importantly, subscribe right now, not later, not after the next clip goes viral, now. Because when the next piece drops, when the final detail surfaces, when someone finally breaks their silence for real, you don't want to hear about it secondhand. You want to be right here when it happens. This story isn't done. And neither is the fallout. Stay ready. Stay subscribed.